Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. I am Paula and I live a keto, low carb lifestyle. I have been eating a ketogenic diet now for 2 years. In fact, it's almost 2 years to the exact date when I started. And so I decided that I wanted to do a health update video to let you know how things are going 2 years later. Currently, we are up at the lake for the weekend, so that's why I have a little bit of a different background going on. I also have my notes in front of me, so I'm going to be glancing down because I want to talk about everything that has gone on with my health and I don't want to forget anything. First, I want to say that I only go to my doctor once a year for physicals, lab work, and all of that. And it has been 6 months since I had blood work done. And 6 months ago, I did a health update video and gave all my lab results. I will not have any lab results for you today because I don't go to the doctor for another 6 months. So in 6 months, I will do a blood work update. I don't know where things are at right now. I'm assuming that they're not much different than 6 months ago, but we'll see in 6 months. I am just going to be talking about my health in general, how I feel, how things have been going with my weight, with my hormones, and all of that. So just to get started, I want to give a little bit of background about my health 2 years ago before I started keto. Just for those who may be new here and might not know my story. 2 years ago, pre-keto, I was pretty sick. I had a lot of things going on with my body and it was quickly going downhill. I was 51 years old. I was perimenopausal. I was overweight. I had a lot of inflammation in my body. I had joint pain everywhere. I was in and out of the doctor. I was going to different specialists. I was going to physical therapy. I had problems with my feet. I had problems with my ankles. I had problems with my shoulders. I had problems with my hands, with my wrists. I had a special made boot for my foot. I wore a boot to sleep in. I had compression socks that I had to wear for my arches of my feet. I had custom inserts made for the inside of my shoes. I could not walk around barefoot at all, even in the house. I slept with braces on my wrist. I had a surgery on one of my wrists. I had a lot of different things going on. And on top of all that, I had migraines. I had severe, debilitating migraines. These migraines were almost blinding. I had to sit in complete darkness when I was experiencing one of these migraines. I had special ice caps that I wore that were like compression ice caps because compression brought me some relief. I couldn't lay down. If I laid down, my head would throb even more. So I would sit in complete darkness like this, squeezing my head with this ice cap on, and I would sit there for hours until it went away. And it was the worst thing that I've ever experienced in my life. Any sounds that I heard, if the dog would bark, it would sound like there was a jackhammer going off inside my skull. Every little sound, it had to be complete quiet, complete darkness. I would get nauseated. I would vomit. Nothing, no pain medicine would help because as soon as I would take something, I was throwing it up. Migraines were one of the worst things that I've ever experienced in my life. I had kidney stones. I had a kidney stone attack a couple of years ago, and I thought I was gonna die when I had that kidney stone attack. And I still think that those migraines were way more traumatizing than that kidney stone attack was. They were just the worst thing that I had ever experienced. I also had special blood work done several times. Each time I had my blood work done for my ANA titer, I was testing positive for lupus. I had never officially been diagnosed with lupus, but I was testing positive for lupus. I also was under the care of a rheumatologist and she had suspected rheumatoid arthritis. She was calling also what I had seronegative arthritis. So there was just a lot of things going on with my health and it just kept getting worse and worse. Also, I was having problems with my hormones. I was having extreme, horrible hot flashes. Very often, it felt like I was having one continual hot flash. I also was having problems with my mood. I would be laughing one minute and then crying my eyes out the next minute. I felt extremely tired all the time. Also with my hormones, this might be a little TMI, but I don't really care anymore. I know that this is going to help someone out there. I had frequent yeast infections. I was fighting yeast infections every single month of my life. It was just horrible. I had skin tags. I had facial hair that I was dealing with. So I just had a whole slew of things that was going on. My rheumatologist actually recommended that I go on a vegetarian diet. When I say vegetarian diet, I was doing what I thought was a very healthy vegetarian diet. I was eating whole one ingredient foods. I was not eating junk food. I was doing everything that I could to eat everything organic and clean and all of that. And I did that for 6 months and nothing happened. Nothing changed. I didn't have any weight loss. I didn't have any changes in my inflammation. I didn't have any changes in the migraines, my hormones, they were all still the same. So one day my husband was watching YouTube and I was in the same room. I remember this like it was yesterday. This was 2 years ago. I was folding laundry and he was watching different things on YouTube and I wasn't really paying attention to what he was watching. And he ended up clicking on a video by Dr. Ken Berry, and Dr. Ken Berry was talking about the ketogenic diet. And I was folding clothes and I'm kind of like listening, and I started listening more and more. And I remember going and sitting down and really intently listening to what he was saying. And he was talking about inflammation. He was talking about joint pain. He was talking about all of these things that I have been going through. And so at that very moment, I said to my husband, I've got to try this. I've got to try this. And so I went and I started educating myself and watching YouTube videos, mostly his in the beginning. And then I started watching some Dr. Westman videos, and I started really getting interested in this topic. And then I ended up going and buying some keto foods, and I thought, I'm going to do this. I'm going to start eating this way. I wasn't really concerned about my weight in the very beginning. Of course, I wanted to lose some weight, but that was not my main concern for starting this ketogenic diet. I wanted to heal my body. I have my little timeline here. In October of 2021, I started dabbling around with the ketogenic diet. This is when I was awakening and becoming aware to this lifestyle. I was watching these videos, I was buying the foods. I can't say that I was completely 100% perfect that month of October, but I was heading toward this ketogenic lifestyle. I was learning about it, I was buying the foods, I was trying to cut certain things out of my diet in October of 2021. All right, in November of 2021, which was 1 month later, I really got serious. I took everything out of the house that was not keto related. I started buying all the good, wholesome foods and stocking up my freezer, stocking up my refrigerator. I started eating the ketogenic diet. So right now, this is October of 2023. 2 years ago, I started dabbling around with the ketogenic diet. And then in November, I got serious. And then a few weeks later, I had my very last, hear me, I had my very last debilitating migraine. It is 2 years later now. It is October of 2023, and I have not had one migraine since I had that migraine in November of 2021. Not one. On top of the migraines, I used to have daily headaches. They were headaches that I could definitely function with. They were just very nagging headaches. I would wake up every morning and I would wake up with a headache. We even went so far as to rearranging our bedroom one time because we thought that my headaches were coming from the meter that was right outside of our bedroom wall where my head was when I slept. We thought that's what was causing my headaches. So we went even as far as to moving the bed around in the room so that my head was not by that meter. I didn't stop it. That wasn't what it was. So I would get up every morning. I would pop Tylenol every single day. 2 years later, I no longer have those nagging headaches. I cannot tell you when the last time is that I took Tylenol or anything for a headache. So 2 years, no migraines, no headaches. Now let's talk about the joint pain. So it took a couple months. So it was probably more toward December, maybe around December or January, where I really started taking notice that my joints were no longer hurting. I was able to get down in the floor with my grandsons. I was able to pop up off the floor and do things that I didn't do when I had that bad joint pain. I would sit every single night 2 years ago, before I started this, with a heating pad on the couch on some part of my body. It was either on my back, on my shoulders, on my legs, somewhere I had a heating pad. So 2 years later, still no joint pain. I get down on the floor with my grandsons. Yesterday, we played hide and seek all over the house. I was scrunched down in closets. I was hiding in these little small spots under tables to hide from them. And I would not have been able to do that 2 years ago. There's no way. Also 2 years ago, I had brain fog. I also had lack of energy. I just didn't want to do anything. I wanted to lay on the couch all day. I'm not that type of person. I am a very on-the-go person. So I would push myself literally all day long to get the tasks done that I needed to get done. And I was so tired. And then I would go to bed at night and I wouldn't sleep good. I would toss and turn at night. Now the brain fog is gone. I have so much energy. I feel sometimes, and I feel like this is going to sound cliche because it does sound cliche to me when I say it or when I think about it, but I really feel like those of us who are doing this ketogenic lifestyle and the carnivore lifestyle, I feel like we have discovered this fountain of youth. And I know it sounds cliche. I really do feel like I'm getting younger inside. I might not look it on the outside, but I truly feel on the inside like the clock is getting turned backwards. And every single day, as life goes on, I feel like I'm getting younger and stronger and more energy, and I just feel incredible. I know that some people might listen to that and think, wow, she's being really dramatic, but it's the truth. I feel stronger every single day that I stick to this. I feel stronger, and that is what motivates me and keeps me on this journey. Now listen, I don't take cheat meals. I don't eat cheat foods. I don't eat cheat weekends. I don't, even on my birthday, I don't take a cheat day because I don't ever want to go back there. If I go back to that way of eating, I'm going to end up like I was 2 years ago. I don't ever want to end up back there. I want to keep getting stronger. I want to keep getting healthier. I want to keep feeling more energy. That is what keeps me true to this way of eating. People ask me, how do you not cheat? How do you avoid having cake at a party? Or how do you avoid giving into certain things? When I look at those kinds of foods, I honestly have it in my brain that those foods are toxic to my body. They might not hurt anybody else, but to me, they're toxic. They're going to hurt me. They're going to cause my body pain. And I had some traumatic pain. I had some very traumatizing headaches. And I will tell you that I would rather give up all of those things and never go back to them ever again for the rest of my life than experience that kind of pain. So that is what keeps me on the straight and narrow. I'm not going to go too much into the hormone aspect of this because I did a video recently, and I'm going to link it at the end of this video on what keto has done to my hormones. And you can watch that video. You can see what has happened to the hot flashes, the lack of energy, the sleep, the skin tags, the yeast infections, the libido, all of those things. You can watch that video and you can learn all about that. I can say that everything hormonally is doing awesome. So watch that video if you need to know more about how keto can help your hormones. The last thing I'm going to talk about is my weight. I didn't start this way of eating. I don't like to call it a diet anymore. I do find myself calling it a diet sometimes, but it is a lifestyle. It is a way of eating. And so when I started this way of eating, weight loss was the farthest thing from my mind at that moment in time. I wanted to feel better. I wanted the pain to stop. I wanted my body just to be healed. And I said this in a lot of my other videos, and I'll say it again. I prayed and I prayed and I prayed to God for answers. I am a Christian. I'm a believer that you can ask God for things and you can talk to him about things. And I believe that he answered me by letting my ear tune in to that Dr. Berry video. And that's what got me started on this path researching and learning. The weight loss at that time was on the back burner. I wanted my body to heal. And then if I lost weight, that's great. So when I first started, I can't tell you my exact weight. I wasn't real thrilled about weighing myself, but I can tell you that I was in a size 2X plus size clothing, and I didn't take measurements in the beginning. I took measurements. Let's see, I got them written down here. So I started this in October of 2021. My first set of measurements was in March of 2022. So five months later is when I first took measurements. So I don't know what my initial weight and my initial measurements were, but I can tell you from the March 22nd until this past week, I have lost a total of 17 inches on my body. When I first did my measurements in March of 2022, I did my hips, my waist, my bust, and my thighs. I didn't do my arms. I wish I would have. I didn't do my neck. I wish I would have. Then I know that I would have more inches added to that because I have lost inches in my arms and in my neck area, but I just didn't do that. I didn't know to do that. I just did the hips, waist, bust, and thighs. Measurements from this past week when I took measurements was my hips, my waist, my bust, and my thighs. I didn't add my neck and my arms into that because I didn't do that from the initial beginning. So 17 inches total. Like I said, it wasn't from the very beginning. I wish it would have been because that number may be higher, but it is what it is. Also, I didn't know my initial weight exactly, but from when I started actually recording my weight and weighing myself until now, I have a 50-pound weight loss. My clothing size now is a medium to a large, depending on how clothes are made. I still have a little ways to go with my weight loss. I'm not sure what my goal weight is. I don't have a certain number set in my mind. I'm just gonna get down to what I feel is a good weight for me, and that's what I'm going for. So to sum this video up from the past 2 years, I don't regret anything. There is nothing that I would change. Each day I feel better, I feel stronger, I feel healthier, and there is no way that I will ever go back to the standard American diet. So that is my 2-year health update. I'm just gonna keep going. So I just wanna encourage you, if you're watching this video and you haven't started this way of eating yet, and you may be just tuning into this video and it may be your first time ever hearing about this, but I encourage you to give it a shot. And don't just do it for a couple of weeks, because you don't heal in a couple of weeks. It takes a long time for your body to get sick from eating the standard American diet, and it takes time to heal. So if you get started on this thing and you don't feel good after a couple of weeks, don't give in, just keep going. What have you got to lose? Well, maybe you've got some weight to lose. Maybe you've got some migraines you want to lose. Maybe you've got some joint pain, some inflammation you want to lose. Give it a shot. I guarantee you won't be disappointed. I'm going to wrap it up for now. Make sure you subscribe to my channel. Give me a thumbs up. I will see you really soon. Have a great day. And as always, I say God bless.